Hello, Chaz Marler from Pair of Dice Paradise here, and recently I've been discussing the universe full of intellectual properties that exist in board games, books, movies, and television, and how some of those universes are strong enough to cross over into other forms of entertainment. But last time, I mentioned how it seems that there's barely any board games that have successfully made the transition over into movies. And why is that? I mean, movies are stories, and stories center around a conflict to resolve, and similarly, board games, by their very nature, center around conflict as well. And yet, most of the existing movies based on board game properties, and those in development, seem to be lackluster at best. So what's going on? Well, let's return to two examples of board game movies that I think best demonstrate what the issue is: Clue and Battleship. Now, both films introduce a problem to solve. One, a murder mystery. The other, how to fit 1,400 CGI special effects into 131 minutes of film. The primary difference between the games that the two movies are based on is a lack of character, and more specifically, characters. For example, who is the harried naval commander in Battleship that's calling the shots? It's you. And who's the intrepid settler establishing a city-state on the island of Catan? Still you. Even in Monopoly, you're just projecting yourself onto a die-cast metal race car, unless you're playing with Kevin, who always takes the race car, in which case, fine, I'll be the shoe. Again. But regardless, the players are still just objects circling Atlantic City like some sort of real estate absorbing heirlooms caught in low orbit. Coincidentally, real estate absorbing heirlooms orbiting Atlantic City? Still better than the Monopoly movie's current plot. Now, Clue had the odds in its favor, because at least that game includes established characters to build a story around. But even then, referring to the persons populating Clue as characters? Yeah, that's still a bit of a stretch. But without established characters, screenwriters have to first invent new ones, often having nothing to do with the game's original premise. And then they have to build a story around that character while simultaneously retaining as much of a tether to the board game that the movie's based on as possible. The end result is a presentation that serves two masters, trying to develop an original new character while simultaneously making callbacks to as many iconic nostalgic things from the game as possible. In film school, I believe they call that approach a hot mess. So, are there any other board games that already have that critical blend of conflict and character that's needed to successfully make the leap into other forms of entertainment? Well, that's what we'll explore next. Now, I've got my list of potential board game universes that are fit for the big screen. Which games are on your list? Last time, I've spit in my mouth. Last time I had spit in my mouth too, I guess. Technically speaking.